Hey there, my name is Danielle and I'm the astrological counselor behind Sparky Spirit Astrology. And today I'm going to share what True Sidereal Astrology is. This is the type of astrology that I practice, and just a friendlier term to describe this type of astrology would be constellation-based astrology. That's like a street-friendly name if you like that more, but technical term is True Sidereal, and this is a different system than mainstream astrology. So what I'm about to share is actually not a very commonly used system. It's a new emerging system in astrology that is different than basically anything else you hear everywhere else of like what's happening in the astrological world. And so in order to like really describe this so you understand, I'm going to share with you how I came across this system and why it felt so significant to me. So this was probably years ago now that I stumbled across this type of astrology. I was preparing for a full moon ceremony on my own, like just gonna celebrate that full moon energy, and it was supposed to be a full moon in Libra. That was what mainstream astrology had been sharing. It was full moon in Libra, so here's like the things to do, all that jazz. You might be familiar with utilizing astrology in that way for your new moon ceremonies or full moon ceremonies. But for me this time it was a full moon in Libra, and so I had just taken my astrological study to the next level, and I had like downloaded one of those free apps that allows you to see where everything is currently in the sky with our solar system. And so I went out that night on the full moon. It was supposed to be in Libra, and I was expecting to hold up my phone and see the moon in the constellation Libra. That's what I was thinking. But when I actually held up my phone to the sky, the moon was in the constellation Virgo. So I got very confused, and I was wondering, like, was there misinformation out there? Did like someone say the wrong thing? But everywhere I saw online, they were like, it's a full moon in Libra, and I'm like, what? It's clearly in Virgo. And anyways, this is like if you're also like, if you're wondering like, yeah, what the heck, that's what prompted me to go down this whole journey to discover what is called True Sidereal Astrology. So I'll start by describing a little bit more about mainstream astrology, which uses the tropical zodiac. And just to kind of give a little explanation, the zodiac is the cycle, I should say, the energy that is the backdrop of the ecliptic plane that the planets pass along. Not to get too technical here in astrology, but there is an ecliptic plane which is significant in this modality, where all the planets generally orbit on this plane. And it's actually what really allows us to compress a chart into a 2D model that we usually see, like a typical chart as a 2D flat model. Well, this is really because we take that ecliptic plane and we're just looking at that, like that level. And the zodiac is the backdrop that is behind that ecliptic plane, that 360-degree circle of us all orbiting around our sun, the center of our solar system. So that's what the zodiac is. And the tropical zodiac has different boundaries and like cutoffs in terms of Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, all of these zodiac signs. These are part of this zodiac cycle, this backdrop, where the planets move along and they align with different places, like, Jupiter could be in Aries, or, Mercury and in Scorpio, or like, yeah, basically that is saying that this planet, whatever it is, that we're looking at, is in alignment with this part of the chart that is represented by that zodiac sign. And this is where the systems differ. Mainstream astrology, this is what not a lot of people know this. Mainstream astrology is not does not use a zodiac cycle that's in alignment with how we know our sky today. This is a long-standing, very like historical debate in the astrological community in terms of why they had the tropical zodiac, and it was really based around the seasons, and there are deeper reasons for each of these that I'm not going to get into in this video, but the significance is that mainstream astrology could say that the sun was in Aries when you were born. However, if you are looking at the actual sky, the sun probably was still in Pisces at that time. Our alignment with the constellations is an ever-shifting alignment. It's very gradual, but we do shift our alignment with the constellations in our solar system ever so slightly throughout the years. And so this is caused as, what mainstream astrology might say is Aries is actually Pisces if you're looking by constellation. And this is the main difference between the tropical zodiac. Mainstream astrology basically does not use constellations. It is not a constellation chart in terms of the zodiac approach. However, true sidereal astrology is. True sidereal is, if you want to say like an astronomically based system where we are using the sky as we understand it today, and reading the alignment, honoring like the sizes of the constellations, because that's another thing in mainstream astrology. You see that the wheel that we see has like an even 30 degrees between all of the signs. So like Aries gets 30 degrees, Taurus gets 30 degrees, Gemini gets 30 degrees, and all 12 signs, 30 degrees equals this 360 degree circle. So all equal in the mainstream system. However, that's not how the constellations are distributed in physical reality. In actuality, they are different sizes and they take up a different amount of the chart. They're not an equal 30 degrees. So yeah, it's really around what zodiac calendar you're really wanting to work with and resonate. I've connected to the stars through light particles and photons and quantum science. So for me, it feels very, very relevant and significant to read a planet based off of the constellations and the photons coming from those stars in that constellation in the interpretation itself, which is why I have explored true sidereal astrology as far as I have, and continue to teach it and share it. There is no right or wrong system, though. That's always a question people ask. There's not a right or wrong system. It's just a different lens. Both, my mainstream using the tropical zodiac, that chart for me was very, very interesting and resonated in its own way and helped me dive deeper into myself. Same for this other lens. This other lens for me has felt a lot more like shadow work. Almost like what's underneath this like equal, like harmonious energy that we see in the tropical zodiac, and like what's underneath that, like what's actually happening there from our understanding of the sky today. And so I really enjoy both of these systems and have learned quite a bit about myself through both of the systems. And so if you're curious to calculate your natal chart with a constellation-based zodiac, the True Sidereal Zodiac, I do have a free chart calculator on my website, so you can see what your signs are with the constellations as they were in the sky when you were born over the mainstream system. And I also warmly invite you for a one-on-one session to like dive into the differences of the two charts. That's one of my favorite things to do. Or I also offer recordings. So if you're just wanting to know like what your dynamics are with the constellation-based system, feel free. You can purchase a recording, and I will send you what stands out to me most when I'm looking at that chart for you. So all the links are below for those resources. But yeah, would love to actually hear if you are interested in learning more about the different systems and like the history behind them and why, because it is quite a a topic in astrology. So thanks so much for tuning in today. And if you enjoy these astrological insights, I welcome you to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the next update. Thanks.